All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about the setup that I'm using here. Obviously, we've gotten on a school of fish, and we're catching quite a few of them. What I'm throwing is just a football jig, and for those of you who don't know what a football jig is, it's just like a normal bass jig, but instead of a weighted head shape that's going to slide down easy through weeds, it's more of a blunt, literally football-shaped head. And what that's going to do is as that comes through the rocks, it's not going to get hung up in the crevices of the rocks as easy. It's also going to rock on the rocks. So with this crayfish trailer on it, what it's going to do is it sits down the rocks, the pinchers float up, and it's going to rock back and forth. And that's going to give the bait a really natural action. Now, what I really like, and I go through, I don't really want to say on record how many I go through because my wife would probably kill me. Love Berkley power bait on my jig trailers, and that's not a commercial for Berkley, that's just the facts. This 3-inch chigger chunk, sometimes I'll go to a full Crazy Legs chigger craw and just cut the back section off to shorten it up if I need a little bit bigger chunk to get the fish's attention. But these things are dynamite. Make sure you got enough on hand because you will go through some of them. But basically what I'm doing is I'm throwing that out there, just letting it go down, and then the trick is just let it just slide along those rocks. A lot of times what I like to do is I start by working as slowly as I possibly can stand and letting the fish just kind of hunt it out and pick them up. Sometimes you got to jig a little bit or pop it out of rocks or weeds to get their attention, but generally it's just a really slow drag. Now the other thing that I really want to stress when you're doing this is you have to be able to feel the rocks when you're fishing, or if you're not on the rocks, you're probably not going to get the bites that you're looking for. So what's really important for me is I like to use this as my basic setup. This is the best setup I've ever had for fishing this. And what this is a 7-foot Denali Rods Noir Wood Series rod. It is an incredibly sensitive rod. I mean, I can feel rocks that I never felt before using this rod. It's got a titanium graphite handle, so it transfers the vibration through the handle, doesn't get absorbed by the cork. And the tip of this rod is really, really sensitive. So I can feel absolutely any rock that I'm dragging my jig over, or a Carolina rig or whatever. I also really like to use a good braid line. In this case, what I've really gone to this year is this spider wire fluoro braid, which has a strand of gore in it. It actually will sink better than a standard braid, so you're going to get a little bit better fall. And then I tie on about a 2 to 3 foot fluorocarbon leader using a double uni knot, so the fish don't see the braid. So I like to use about a 20-pound fluorocarbon leader on this. So that's the setup I'm basically using. Now, right now, I'm going to go with this. If the fish slow down a little bit, I might go to some finesse stuff like a jig worm or a drop shot. But right now, there's no reason to switch away from this at all. So I'm going to keep going and see if we can't get a giant in the boat. If you're happy, then your rod will surely show it. Swoosh! There he is. Right in the side of the mouth. I don't know, that's about 12, 15 pounds probably, give or take. Right back in the same spot. That's the thing about that hook set in deep water, you never know if it's going to be a big fish or not. Sometimes they feel giant and it's a pound fish, and sometimes they feel like nothing and it's a 3-pounder. Now the other thing too is you want to let the bait fall straight down. So when I'm casting out into deep water, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let a little line out. And ultimately I'm probably going to reel some of that back up, but I want that bait to fall all the way to the bottom, completely straight, so it's a very natural crayfish-like fall. All right, folks, I think we're going to wrap it up here. We've had a pretty good morning, but the sun's getting up. I got things to do, and the fish bites kind of slowed down, so we're gonna call it a day. But after I catch this fish, This is a big fish. What is this? I think it's shrinking. Well, that's a big bass. Well, so much for the bite slowing down. All right, well, so let's try rewrapping that. I'm done. We're gonna end it on that one. Next time you guys are out on your favorite lake, find some transition areas with weeds and rocks, throw out a rock jig, and see what happens. Till next time, I'm Jason Holmer with Bass Utopia. Check us out at bassutopia.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Bass Utopia, and subscribe to our channel. We'll see you next time. That was awesome!